and welcome to NWIIWA's first empowerment series for 2021. This is a new series that we're super excited about. This is about giving us resources to help enrich our professional careers and help us connect with others along the way. We're going to be doing these every month, so we have such a great lineup that you guys can check out on our Facebook page and our website. This session is being recorded, okay, and it will be posted on NWIIWA's YouTube page. So if you don't know, we have a YouTube page. Please go and subscribe and like to it, and then you'll also see our other programs that we had on prior as well. At the end of this program, you'll each get a survey. It will take you less than 10 seconds. We really would appreciate it if you would fill it out. You're all muted, but your cameras are on. During the presentations, if you want to turn your camera off, that's perfect. And then when we go back to Q&A, you can turn your cameras back on. Questions. You can ask questions through the chat, through Facebook Live. You can send me a text, however you want to do it, because we are able to ask Patti just about anything we want. That's what she said we can do. And we're going to try to get as many questions into as we can. As I mentioned, if you haven't seen it, her handout is in the chat room. So if you don't have her handout, click on the link and you'll have her handout. And just so you know, here is our disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed during this program are those of the persons appearing during the program. Okay, you got it? Got it. There you go. NWIIWA. NWIIWA is such a great organization. It's the largest association here in Northwest Indiana for women seeking professional development in their careers. Our mission focuses on providing opportunities for growth through networking, leadership support, and education. Together, we support the continuing advancement of women by bringing together the region's most successful professionals in all business industries and community services. These programs could not happen without our sponsors, and we have four partner sponsors. Our elite sponsors are Franciscan Health and Ivy Tech. Our premier partner is Horizon Bank, and our diamond partner is Sage Popovich. These four have contributed throughout the year to really help develop new programs, and we thank them for that. Okay, so for more information on partnerships or becoming a member, you can go to NWIIWA.org. Now, that's Patti. Say hi, you'll see her live. Patti's just amazing. I'm so excited about today because I need a dose of her energy. Patti is a national speaker for the gymnastics industry since 1981. She owns another business called Tumble Bear Connections, where she sells all her past speeches as downloads and hard copies. She has a blog and an emailing following, holy cow, of 9,000 subscribers. Wow. 2018, she was named NWIIWA Businesswoman of the Year. And in 2019, she was named the Northwest Indiana Small Business Development Center's Small Person of the Year. And then she was also inducted to the US Gymnastics Region 5 Hall of Fame. Okay, so she's got a lot to talk about. So with that, Patti, you're on. Welcome.
Yay, thanks everybody. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. And as I look at names through here, and the last time I was on a NWIIWA function event, I saw names of people that used to be one of my students. I know some of you used to be students, and have brought children to our gym. So I appreciate your patronage and I appreciate that. Okay, we're gonna start with a poll because I wanna know my audience. How many of you are in management? How many of you are owners of business, etc.? So Stephanie's gonna put this poll up. So if you could really quickly just, check that off. Are you owner of a company? Are you in management or other? And we'll report back to that in a few minutes, but if you could do that quickly, I'd appreciate it. And then we'll get to see who is who. Now, number one, I'm going to go right past on this handout. I want to go through this after 52, it'll be 52 in June, this year, years in business, I certainly have learned a few things. We say that good judgment comes from results of mistakes and bad judgment. That's how you get wisdom. So, it doesn't take being 68 years old, it takes 52 years in business, right? Number one, the standard you walk by is the standard you accept. And what that means is when you onboard new people, if you don't coach them right away and get them doing what you want them to do right away. And you go 2-3 weeks later and they're going to say, well, why didn't you tell me that first? You've got to, and I hate to use the word correct, but you want to use coach them right from the beginning. For instance, we have all these policies for our staff. Park in this place, wear this particular uniform, use this timesheets this way. And so if one of our department leaders would let one of those girls park in the wrong place, wear the wrong uniform, 2 or 3 weeks later, she's going to say, listen, I noticed you're parking in the wrong place. Can you tell me why? And the person's going to go, well, I've been doing it for 2 weeks. So don't let that go. Get them right from the beginning. People say, how do you motivate your staff? You cannot motivate anyone. I cannot motivate you. What I can do, hopefully, is inspire you. That's a Latin word, inspira, and it means to blow into, to inspire someone by your example. So with you in management, with you being an owner, you're all leaders. You're leaders of a family. You may be a leader in your church. People will look to you. If you're in this organization, I already know you're a leader and you're already inspiring people. So think about that whenever you're doing things in your business. Number 2, if you think in your gut you shouldn't hire them, don't. Dave Ramsey says, keep the crazies out. So when there's a little bit of I don't know if I should hire this person, that's when you don't. They say hire slow, fire fast. So hire slow, fire fast. And again, you may not be in charge of hiring right now or any of the things I'm talking about, but you may be one day. You may be an owner of a company one day. You may be in management one day. There was a guy that I hired, his name was Bobby. And I was a little bit leery at first. In fact, in 52 years, I think I've hired one guy that ever worked out. But anyway, so he came in on one of his days off with a snake in his hand. And he comes up to the front counter and I'm like, Bobby, what are you doing here with that? And he said, oh, I thought the kids might want to see my pet boa. I said, nah, I don't think so, Bobby. That was one of the many things I could tell that I shouldn't have hired him from. Number 3, hire personality and train the skill. Hire personality. In our business, we need people that are enthusiasm, have passion, and really in anything you're going to do, whether it's sales or, anything, creativity, the passion you have for it is everything. So when you go to hire someone or promote someone, look for their enthusiasm. I like to take the last 4 letters of enthusiasm and make it, I am sold on myself. Because if a person is sold on themselves, they stand up and they have their chest out and they feel good about themselves and they're powerful. And so look for that. The entheos is the Latin word for enthusiasm, which means God within. So look for that God within passion and enthusiasm in the person. No matter what they're going to be in your company, they need to be enthusiastic. When I talk about hiring the personality, someone asked Southwest Airlines president one time, how do you get your people to be so friendly? And he responded, well, I just hire friendly people. So hiring right from the beginning is everything. Enthusiasm, passion, and attitude. They have that phrase, I think it's Zig Ziglar who says, it's not your aptitude, but your attitude that will ultimately determine your altitude in life. Let me say that again. It's not your aptitude, but it's your attitude that will ultimately determine your altitude in life. So everything is attitude and enthusiasm. Number 4, you're not in business to keep people employed. If you've got somebody on your staff or somebody you're working with and he's just hurting the culture of the business, new blood is good. Get rid of the old, really. Hire slow, fire fast. Because when you know it's hurting the company, it will be so much more beneficial for everyone if that rotten apple is out of the bushel. So, you're not in business to keep them employed. So many people quit and then they keep hanging around and keep working. When they quit, they need to leave. So number 5, keep good employee records for potential lawsuits or unemployment insurance claims. We had a girl that was so great with the kids. She was such a great teacher, but she was not a good employee. So I'd write her up. So I'd have all the verbal things written down, and then the written ones, she'd sign them. I had 47 pages of documentation that I took to the unemployment hearing, and I was denied. And the one thing the unemployment judge said to me, because this was my 3rd one to be denied, and he said, always use this phrase, your job is in jeopardy. And so if they are signing that if they do not correct these behaviors, their job is in jeopardy, they will be let go. So I think it's important to notice that you have to write it down and you have to say the proper things. Stephanie, do we have a result of the poll yet? Oh gosh, okay. All right, so almost a third of the people are, okay, 28%, a fourth of them, and then in management, and then other. Okay, wonderful, great. We know who's all here today. Number 6, in your employee handbook. Now, if you're in charge of that, if you're not, just think about it. In your employee handbook, don't use language like you cannot. We got in trouble one time because if you say you cannot, I'll give you an example. You cannot come in later than 5 minutes before your shift. Somebody does, we write them up. Somebody does, we don't write them up. It's better to always put, we strongly suggest. When you work with people, we strongly suggest is far more convenient, far more powerful and helpful down the road if you just say that. Number 7, use a powerful Superman stance. I want everybody to stand up. Now, I'm not gonna be able to see, I can see some of you standing up, but I want you to stand up. Now my chair is gonna be in the way here. All right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna pull this up here. All right, I want you to put your hands on your waist like Superman, okay? I want you to poof your chest out, and think of being strong. When you are going to do a presentation, or when you are going to do a speech for someone or something, and you're feeling a little uncomfortable, get your feet apart, hands on your waist, and feel strong. And if you are getting called in for a review, you go in there with power, and you go in there with power because you feel it. Sheryl Sandberg says to lean in. Well, I say stand up like Superman. So be powerful, all right? It's a good reminder. If you have to give a speech or something and you don't have a place to do it, go to the bathroom. I've had to go to the bathroom and get in the stall and do my Superman. So anyway, whoa, things are knocking off the computer there. Can't gossip, number 8. I don't know how many of you done this or not, but you can't gossip if you're the leader. It will get back to you. So I have this girl named Gail in department leadership, and she comes in and I say, we've got a girl on staff, Hannah, who doesn't really want to teach gymnastics anymore. She doesn't want to do the job she's doing. She'd rather be a dance teacher. And I said, now understand that when you're in management and when you are someone in position that I can talk to about other people here at the gym, you cannot go out there and tell it to anybody else. You just have to have that knowledge in the back of your head to maintain a better management position. Sure enough, she goes right out of the room, around the corner, and says to Hannah, oh, I understand you don't feel like teaching gymnastics anymore. You want to be in the dance room. Really? So whatever it is that you say, because if you, and back to the gossip part, if you as a person of power or management, or just, if you are here, as I said before, you are an inspirational leader anyway to be part of this group. People look at you, people will admire you, and people watch what you do. So if you're gossiping, boop, it's going to get back to them. Number 9, before you give staff benefits and incentives, find out what's really important to them. Boy, did I learn this. I think it was year 33, because I counted how many years I had done this. I love to cook and bake. And so every year for my staff, and I have about 45 on staff, I would have everybody over, and I would, at Christmas, the Saturday before Christmas, I would make this big lasagna dinner. I mean, I would do all the salad and the breadsticks, and I would do the lasagna, and I'd make all the desserts, and nobody brought anything. I wanted to do it for them. I loved it. I gave everybody personal gifts. I had Santa Claus come in half the time, or little singing groups. I really went all out for this. So one time, when I put out the date of what it was, I had a girl, an employee, come up and she said, you know what they're saying downstairs about you? And I said, no. And they said, or she said, they were saying, so what excuse are you going to use to not go to Patty's party? I'm going to tell you, whoo, tears like are right here, right now. Nothing hurt me so much at that time to think that I thought I was doing this wonderful thing for them. And of course, I took it personally. Now, a lesson here is that someone else's opinion of you or what you do is none of your business. Let me say that again. What somebody else thinks of you or what you do is none of your business. You do what you know is right, and you do what you know you want to do. But it hurt me to the quick. So what did I do? Cut those lasagna dinners out. But then I realized after I talked to some people that that was a bad time to have it. The Saturday before Christmas, a lot of people, if they had divorces in the family, had multiple families that they needed to go to, that was a day they could have been with their families, and they had to go, and they felt they had to go to a Christmas event at the boss's house. Anyway, then I found out that some people don't care about retirement. They only want a higher wage. Then some people really care about having more time off with their family. So if you don't have a poll for your staff and ask them, even if it's during annual reviews, you don't know what's beneficial to them and what's valuable to them. We're going to have a poll right now. I want to see what's important to you. So there's your poll. Let's see what you're going to mark down. What benefit is most important to you in your job? Is it great pay? Is that straight out the most important thing to you? Is it vacation time? Or is it your IRA, 401k, or whatever? So mark that down. And we'll see what that result is pretty soon. It's always important and exciting for me to see what people think about. Number 10 is always give employees the benefit of the doubt. In your culture, if people do not think you believe in them, if they do not think that you believe what they're saying to you, you're in trouble. My husband worked for the Lake Central School Corporation for 36 years as a teacher and a coach. And there are many times that a child would report something to the principal. Oh, Mr. Komara gave me detention and I didn't do anything, or whatever. The people that were in charge always backed him up. And that was so important. Never, if it's a customer against an employee, you back that employee until you get that full story. Because it's so important that you feel believed in and that you believe in them, that they believe that you are backing them at all time. Super important. You know, when someone believes in you, it's so strong that that will create passion for your company, for your business, for your mission that you're doing at your company, and it will fuel passion and enthusiasm, and nothing can stop that. Nothing can stop that. Is every meeting necessary for every member? So we have this meeting, and it's all the school-age gymnastic teachers. And when I have a meeting, I require my people to actually sit up straight. They better arrive there 10 minutes before with pen in hand and paper and be ready for this meeting. And so this girl's sitting there, and she's kind of sitting like this, kind of slumping. She's not using her pen or paper. And I looked at her and I said, really? I said, Amy, what's the matter? And she says, I don't know why I have to be here at this meeting. She goes, most of the time you go through policies. I know where to park. I know what uniform to wear. I know how to fill out my timesheet, but I have to be here. And I thought, at first, you little brat. And then I thought, you know what? She's right. And it saved me a ton of money in my company when I started only having meetings with the exact people that needed to meet. And so it was a savings of our company. It was a savings of culture. Again, I know I use that word too much, but if you don't have a good culture and a good relationship with all your people working with you, because people are everything, then it's going to be tougher to do whatever it is, whether it's, you know, selling a service or selling a commodity. So anyway, that got me thinking about those meetings. So we wanted to do that. Stephanie, do we have a result of the poll? What's important to these group of ladies? Great pay. Woo! Why not? Vacation time. All right, good. Well, I'll tell you, the younger you are, the more important the pay is mostly. But I also think, and you might want to say, and I tell you what, put a yes in a chat if you agree with me. Do you think after this COVID time of being away that people feel that if I'm going to go away from my family and I'm going to give time, I want to have good compensation for it? Write yes in the chat if you agree with me on that one. They also might want more vacation time after that. I'm not sure, but anyway, number 12, your greeter or front desk person is so important. They have to be the mayor of your company. They're their PR person. They're the ones that are creating a relationship, because if you do not create a relationship with your customers, you're dead. That is all it is. Write down this right now. CAR, create a relationship. When you create a relationship and they feel like they're part of your family coming to your business, it's harder to quit a family than it is a business. So creating a relationship by knowing these names, knowing their interests. If a dad walks in, and our front desk person knows, and he has a Bears shirt, you know, a Chicago Bears shirt, the front desk person is going, hey, what'd you think about that game Sunday, huh? You big Bears fan? Who's your favorite player? Create a relationship. If a woman walks into your company and she has, you know, her hair different than the last time, or she just has nice hair or whatever, and you say, oh my gosh, I love your highlights. Where do you get your hair done? You know, and all of a sudden you have started a relationship with that person, and that's going to turn into more profit for you without a doubt. Always lead with integrity. Number 13, I want you to add another word with that. I want you to write, always lead with integrity and empathy. I want you to always think before you're going to correct, coach, or handle a situation with another employee or a customer, how would you like it to be handled if you were in that position? You know, it's very important to think of how it would be with someone else. Do you send Christmas cards? Do you send birthday cards? Get well cards to your staff, to other people on your staff, your coworkers? Creating a relationship with your coworkers is important too. You know, when they're going through hard times and they know you care, boy, it's going to count for so much more. You might say, well, if you got a big staff, how do you keep track of get well cards and birthday cards and work anniversary? We give a bonus. One thing we do that I don't think like a lot of companies do is we have 45 employees, as I said. Well, we have a lot of part-timers and then some full-timers. But I've got girls that have been with me 32 years. 2 of them have been there 25 years. Another 2 are 24 and 23. A lot of long-time workers. Anyway, I have what I call a tickler file. And you might say a tickler file, and you may do this. And you may also look and say, I can tell you're 68 years old because that's an old-fashioned way. I don't care if it's old-fashioned. This is how I organize my life. A tickler file is a plastic bin of folders that just have 1 through 31, and it's for every day of the month. And like tomorrow, here's my tickler for tomorrow, my tickler folder for tomorrow, number 29. So I'll pick up, this is January 29th, all the things that I'm going to do tomorrow, everything from, you know, it might be cards to send out. That's the time to send the card out. A bill that's due, a note to call someone I need to call that day. It might be my exercise. Here's my exercise journal. I'm exercising every day, of course. And so I put that in there so that it makes you accountable. And then my Visa receipts happen to be in front because it's easy to find. But anyway, I also have a tickler file that's monthly. So then it's one that is January through December and things that need to go in there to remind me for that month. It has been a huge organizational tool for me. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Okay, next page, 14, staff uniforms. Everybody wants to feel part of a group. And if you're in a company, even Center Bank has uniforms, but I think it just puts a polish on everybody. We just had girls when I didn't have uniforms coming in with Def Leppard shirts, and they just didn't select what I would select to represent me. And you know what? When someone is working for your company or for you, they represent you and your brand. So choose how you want that to be represented. And I could give you an example. Jack Kennedy, one time when he was going to step off the plane and give a speech in Paris, they said, Jack, come on, time, you're going to be late. And he was doing his hair. And he said, when I step off that plane, I represent everyone from the United States of America, not just Jack Kennedy. I thought that was powerful. So anyway, and also I had name tags, part of creating a relationship. If it would look appropriate in your company, wear a name tag. How can your customer create a relationship with you if they don't know your name? You are probably calling their name to come into your business or whatever, and you would know them before they might even know you. But a relationship. Why do people on morning TV have their name, Robin Roberts, Michael Strahan, Stephanopoulos, there? Because ABC and Disney wants you to create a relationship with their people on TV because they want you to see Robin the next day or to see Michael Strahan the next day. They want to create a relationship. All right, so something like that's important. Number 15 is right there. Create a relationship. That's one of its own part right there. You know, being a children's fitness center, I'm a family-oriented company. And so I have situations, and I'm sure you do too, you don't know if you should let a staff person do this or do that or whatever. I'll give you an example. Disney, like I said, is the #1 entertainment company in the world. So I'm going to do what Disney does. Remember that old thing, DWJD, do what Jesus does? And that's how you should guide your life. Well, in business, for me, it's DWDD, do what Disney does. So for instance, if you're a cast member at Disney, you are only allowed 2 rings per 10 fingers. You're only allowed 4 earrings per head. You cannot have any facial piercings. You cannot have any tattoos showing. So that's my policy for my staff as well. Now Disney has, you got to admit, Disney's pretty darn successful. I love this. Here's another tip. Here's a business tip from Disney. A friend of mine, Robin Arvanitis, she's a town board member in Cherville, finalist last year for NWIIWA in arts and entertainment. She's my dance manager. She's at Disney. She calls for a dinner appointment or a dinner reservation, 7 o'clock to this restaurant. So the restaurant answers, you know, and says, she says, could I have a reservation for 4 people at 7 o'clock? They pause a minute. They come back and go, great news, Mrs. Arvanitis. We can't give you 7 o'clock, but we can get you in at 11 o'clock. Can we put you down for that? So I have used that more times when I have bad news to someone. I always give them the alternative with, great news. This is what I have for you. And so you never know. Customer relationship too. I do a motivational speech for my staff in July and in December of every year. And when I do, we create a customer service theme. And every single business could have a customer service theme. Here's a perfect one that I'll give you an example. Give your customer what they expect and more. Give your customer what they expect and more. Now, the situation there is you're going to say, well, what does my customer expect? If you don't know what your customer expects, you can't give it to them and more. So I suggest you do like a brainstorming session and write down, get a chalkboard, a whiteboard, whatever. What does our customers expect when they answer, when you answer the phone? What do they expect on the phone? What do they expect on a website? What do they expect in a store when they walk in? What do they expect from the person at the front desk? What do they expect? Then you have to answer those and then give them more. So there's always, I don't know how many of you know the phrase, give them the pickle, but it's from Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. And years ago, they started a whole customer service theme from that. The owner of Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor was in line at an airport and he had Farrell's ice cream on his shirt. And the person looked at him and says, oh, you work at that place? And he said, yes, sometimes, which is how I always answer it when people say, you work at Patti's Gymnastics? I go, sometimes. Anyway, so he says, sometimes. And she says, well, I'm never going back there because my husband, every single Sunday after church, we would go there and he would get a sandwich and he would get a pickle. And the pickle would come with it. Well, one day they brought the sandwich with no pickle and we asked if we could have a pickle and they said it would be an extra charge. We are never going there again. So he went back to his company and started this whole thing called Give 'em the Pickle. And it was, obviously they expect a sandwich, but give them the pickle too. So for a long time, we used that customer service, give them the pickle. We also, right now, if you want to know what we're doing this, right now, it's our customer service theme is 212 degrees. And what that means is, and I don't know if you heard that story, but the idea is that in business or on a team or anything that you're doing as a group, 211, water does not boil, but water boils at 212 degrees. So the idea is to give a little extra, just that one little bit of extra degree will power a locomotive with steam from a boiling water. It will boil. So I've asked my staff, all of the computer monitors have it down there. They have it, we have signs everywhere around the gym, 212 degrees to give more, a little bit more. All right, number 16, I don't know how many of this would matter at all to you, but it's something that I sure learned. Make employees pay for part of their webinars or seminars. And here's how I learned that. We had a number of girls go to Indianapolis to the Hyatt there, and they decided to have their boyfriends come and sleep with them in there, and they were doing weed. Yes, this is not a story, this has actually happened, and then they had to pay for the damages, and my business name was on it. They didn't care, they didn't even care, they didn't want to be there. It was like a big weekend out. They're paying for it, that means they want to be there. So anyway, they got to have some skin in the game. Don't give anybody anything. You got to have some skin in the game. Number 17, don't email when upset. Ooh-wee, or text. I want you to put in the chat, yes, if that's happened to you. If you had emailed somebody or texted somebody and you regretted it, you should have waited the 24-hour rule. Wait 24 hours and then respond. I want to see how many people say yes to that. So wait your 24 hours. Number 18, don't let a customer or another staff person make you feel inferior. I'll tell you what happened to me. Now, that has happened many times, but so I buy this years ago, probably 20 years ago, a LeBaron convertible. Woo, a used car, right? A LeBaron convertible. I pull in the parking lot of my company and I go in there and I hear two women, two mothers of students. One said to the other one, "Did you see her new car? Ooh, she got a convertible. That's why the tuition went up. Help her pay for her new car." Well, of course it shattered me. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go get a junker car, you know? Again, somebody else's opinion of you is none of your business, but it took me a long time to learn that because I'm a people pleaser, as I'm sure all of you are because you're in this kind of position. Another time, we had a mother upset, and when you have a customer upset, you want to get them out of the front of the business or out of the lobby or whatever. And I said, oh, come back to my back office here, please. I want to hear what you have to say. Please come back here. So we go back there. There's 2 other staff people in the back. And I say, tell me about what's going on. How can I help? And this woman actually said to me, she looked at me and she goes, you're Patti. We never see you around here unless you're in there getting pictures taken or something for the paper. You're the worst part of Patti's All-American. Woo! Woo! Talk about crying. Talk about vulnerability, Brene Brown. Right here. Sheryl Sandberg, lean in. Oh, I was leaning in all right. Tears were just flowing down my face. I couldn't help it. I wish this woman wouldn't have made me cry, but she did. When you cry in business, I want to give you a piece of advice. Don't let it make you feel bad. Because if you're in a board meeting and some man or woman has put you down, or for some reason you're crying and tears are coming, don't apologize. Here's what I want you to say. Do you know why I'm crying? Because I'm passionate about this. Because I care about this so much and tears have come. But I care. That's why. And then you have a reason for it, as opposed to looking weak or apologizing or whatever, or doing one of these. I'm sorry, I'm crying, right? So, number 19, my mom was in business. She was an Avon district manager, super successful. She has some wisdom that at 89 years old, I want to pass on to you. A, what will benefit the most people the longest period of time? Many times I would ask her advice in business, and she would say, what's going to benefit the most people the longest period of time? If you have a decision to make in business, in your family, ask that question. It's helped me many times. B, you give people permission to talk to you like that. If it's your spouse, if it's a friend, if it's a coworker, whatever it is, your boss, they talk to you in a way that you don't like, and you let it go one time, you think, oh, well, that's not going to happen again. You let it go 2 times, and then it's your fault. On that second time, you just want to say, ooh, that was a little harsh. Wow, I didn't mean to say it like that to you. Why are you coming to me like that? But say something, because if you say nothing again, they're going to do it again. They're going to do it harder. So, you know, don't give them a permission to talk to you like that, because no one should talk to you anyway other than respect. Mom says, this too shall pass. Boy, oh boy, if in the last year in this whole COVID thing, you just want to go out to eat, you want to go to a movie, you want to go back to work, you want to be with people, you want to have lunch with your friends, just keep saying this too shall pass. With the vaccines, with Governor Holcomb supposed to be relaxing some restrictions next week, so woohoo! You know, this too shall pass. And if you need to write that and put that in your underwear drawer, so when you open the drawer every day, you see that note, whatever's going to help you. Number 20, the answer is always no until you ask. The answer is always no until you ask. So we're on an airplane. My husband's in the aisle. I'm in the middle. This woman's at the window seat. And she looks at me and she says, is that your husband? I said, yes. And she goes, could you ask him if I could have the aisle? I went like this. Really? She goes, well, I just like the aisle. And I said, well, I know he won't give it up because his leg hurts, his left leg, he's had knee surgery and he wants that to be straighter in that aisle. And she goes, oh, okay, well, the answer is always no until you ask. And turned and looked out the window. And I went, whoa. You know how Oprah says aha moment? That was an aha moment for me. I was like, woo, that's powerful. I cannot tell you how many times in business I have asked for discounts or anything special, and I get it because you ask. You want to raise? Go ask for it. Now, if you want to raise, go ask for it with the ammunition. What are you doing now differently than you were doing before? Did you get more education? What is the competitive rate that people are paying for your job in the area? Go in with that. What's the worst thing you can say but no? Or she can say, or the board can say. They can say no, and you go. Number 21, don't compete on price. Always be the most expensive if you're in business. Now, the thing is here's the caveat on that. If you're going to be the most expensive, equals you better be the best. Because If you're not the best, people are not going to pay that higher price. People will never feel you are too expensive. They'll always feel they're not getting what they expected and what they feel is worth the money you're asking. So you got to back it up that way. Number 22, almost finished here. Number 22, if you have them lie for you, they will lie to you. If you're in your back office and Mr. Johnson's on the phone and your secretary, Abby, says, Mr. Johnson's on the phone, and you say, tell him I'm at lunch, and you're not, you're having her lie for you. Don't you think for 1 second then she's turned around next time she doesn't feel very well, she's going to tell you that she's sick as a dog and she's not coming in because she'll lie to you. So integrity all the way. Number 23, to finish up, have no regrets. And in 50 years, I will tell you, I have regrets. Regrets, the biggest one, of course, is what everybody says on their deathbed. I wish I wouldn't have spent so many days or nights at the office. Truly, my business is an evening and Saturday type business. We teach gymnastics, so it's classes in the evenings. My kids, I never saw them when they were in elementary school because I'd put them on the bus, I'd go to work, I would teach in the evening, of course, because you had to teach all those hours, and come home. Could somebody else have been teaching for me? Absolutely. Did I think no one else could be as good as me? Absolutely. Many people were better than me, but I didn't think I could pass it on. I couldn't delegate it. Don't be afraid to delegate. And if you're the best in the room, you don't have the right amount or the right type of people that are working for you. You need to have better people working for you, smarter people working for you. That's how it shows you're smart. But in 1993, I started lecturing in 81. In 1986, I started doing my own seminars across the country. And in 1993, I had jotted down that I was away 23 weekends that year. There were only 52 weekends in a year. 23 weekends I was away? What was I doing? Yes, I was creating a fortune. Well, anyway, you know, I was creating a career. I was making money. Is that important? You know what you do with extra money? Let me tell you what you do with extra money. You buy stuff you don't need anyway. That's what you do with extra money. A good amount of money is great, but time away from your family, not so great. If you turn the page, the last thing it says, lastly, to be in your children's memories tomorrow, you have to be in their lives today. Do not miss those softball games. Do not miss those choir concerts. Do not miss the time with your husband if he needs you, because that will be what's important in the end. And I think we all have learned that more during this COVID time. I will leave you with three pieces of advice, or one piece of advice. I want you to lie, cheat, and steal. I want you to lie down at night, thank God for all your blessings. I want you to cheat death by exercising, eating right, and getting enough rest, and steal some time for your family. Thank you all.
And I did it. I didn't unmute. Oh my gosh, Patti, I don't want you to stop. I want you to keep on going. I need more of this. This was so good for me.
Oh, good.
All right, so we do have some questions. So if anyone wants to turn on their cameras now, you can turn on your camera so we can interact. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat. You can put it on your Facebook, text me, whatever you need, so we can ask Patti. So we do have a couple questions on there. So when you have a weakest link, whether it is in your team or in your organization, how do you handle that? I mean, and when they just seem to be coming at you the wrong way, and how do you make a weak link a strong link?
Couple things. As I said before, hire slow, fire fast. But if you want them, you know they're going to be good, give them more responsibility. Believe in them. Tell them, you know what, I see some things we need to work on. How are you going to do that? Make a written plan. And when you make a written plan, give them a timeline. These are some things we need to work on. Tell me why you think you may be struggling with this part. And then have them give you that. Then what can I do for you to help you be better at your job? I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I've got your back. What do you need from me? So show them you care. Ask them the weak link. Ask them what they think is the weakest part of their job, how they're going to do it better, make a plan, timeline it, and then make them accountable and make sure that you go back and double check that they have done that in that time period.
So how do you keep, another question here is, how do you keep the balance between having a relationship with your teammates or your employees and still being the manager or the boss? You know, how does that not get muddy?
Woo-wee, that is a great question. That's a great question. I cannot tell you how many times my husband has said to me in all these years, they're not your friends. They work for you. Now, I don't believe all of that. I have created a lot of friendships in my company. And so, you know, you do have to keep that line, but I'm the one that I would rather be hurt by being closer to them than to have that distance between us. I want to be close to them. I want to know about their life. I want to give them a hug when they got a new house. I want to know how their little son Wyatt's doing in kindergarten now. And if you don't create a relationship with your staff and your employees, you'll never have them create a relationship with your, you know, your front line is your staff. So they're your first customer as an owner or a boss. Your first customer is your staff. So you have to create a relationship. You talk about vulnerability. I'll put myself out there for my girls. If they stomp on me, which I tell you they will, I had 2 girls leave me. One of the biggest mistakes I made in my career is I reduced pay one time. I reduced pay. It was back in, late 80s maybe. We weren't doing real well. The economy was having a problem. I said, everybody's gonna take it was a 50 cent an hour pay cut. I'm going to take $1 an hour pay cut. I said, that was stupid. Anyway, and then these 2 girls go off, and who I thought were so close to me and everything, go off and they said, give you 2-week notice. They were 2 of my managers, left and opened a competing business 3 miles down the street. Really hurt my business. So, yeah.
Wow. Another question. Does owning your business affect your marriage?
You know what? There are some men who can't handle strong women. Mm-hmm. There are some men that cannot handle if you make more money than they do. My particular husband loves that. He does not care that I make money. You know what? Because he enjoys the riches. But I think it's, you know, I've been divorced. It was tough on the first marriage. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I was married before, and I worked all nights, and he worked days. I worked Saturday. He was off. We were never together. So oftentimes you're going to have to say, what can I do? Is my marriage, you know, in business and life, everything is this. Everything is this. What am I going to give up? Because this is more important. And, you know, just like when someone asks you to be like the committee chairman for your PTO, and you know it's going to be every Tuesday night, you've got to go do that, and it's going to be time away from your family. If you can say that you can't do it, I'm going to say no because I have a more powerful yes at home. Okay? This even might be Stephen Covey. I'm going to say no because I have a more powerful yes at home, and his name is Hudson, and he's 18 months. You know, that kind of answer will get you respect. And then always say, thank you so much for asking me, though. I really appreciate it. Because it shows that they cared enough to ask you and thought you were going to be good enough to do this job.
Okay, so if you can go, let me read this. If you can go back in time and give yourself advice in a challenging season of your life, what advice would you give yourself?
Hang in there. Hang in there. Because you know what? This too shall pass. Bad things happen to good people. You'll get through it. You know, seriously. I think one of my biggest things was caring about what people thought so much instead of doing what's best for the business and understanding how to make the business important in my life, but also relationships too. So if I was going to talk to my younger self, I would say, don't worry about what other people think. You know, hang in there, do the best you can, believe in yourself. I think sometimes you have doubts and you're like, nah, I can do this.
Okay, so one last question. It seems like that you have always had all this confidence that this is who you were 30 years ago or whatever you were when you started. You know, how did you gain this confidence and this energy and being able to fulfill your purpose?
First of all, I think there are some people, you talk about born leaders. I think there are people that are born with the personality for leadership. but I also think that you can become what you want. And the phrase is, act the way you'd like to be, and soon you'll be the way you act. So if you are not a confident person, act it. You know, play the part. Be confident. Think, how would Patti Komara do this? Or how would Andrea do this? Or how would Stephanie do this? Somebody I admire, somebody that's got the confidence. How would she walk into a room? How would she answer that question? You know, and study successful people. Read, you know, Brené Brown's books. Read Sheryl Sandberg. They're both excellent. So many good people that I, you know, read. The more education is power. The more you read, the more you've got the arsenal to come up with answers on things going to come up in your life and your work.
Oh, Patti, that is wonderful. I can sit here and talk with you, and I know we're going to run like 4 minutes late, but I just want more. So thank you, Patti, very much for being our guest. And to you guys all stay with me here for 1 second here. Remember that to follow us on social media. You guys, we do a lot on social media, on Facebook. Please go to our YouTube channel. You know, it's brand new and we need you there. Influential Women Awards Banquet. It is happening this year, and it is our 10th annual, and it will be September 30th. Please remember, Influential Women is always the last Thursday in September, so you can put it down from here on out. Our next Breaking the Glass Ceiling is with Dr. Janet Seabrook, and I'm going to tell you she has a message for inspiring the entrepreneurial in all of us. And then our next empowerment series is going to be, this is really interesting. This is Kara Herring, you ladies. She is Indiana's first Chief Equity, Inclusion, and Opportunity Officer. And she has a very interesting program that she is going to be presenting on When Women Unite, Intersectionally, Allyship, and Purposeful Connection in the Workplace and Beyond. So I'm super excited to hear. We've got so many other things. Join one of our committees. Join NWIIWA. If you're not a member and you want to join, we're here to help you. We're just real excited. So thank you for attending, and fill out that survey. It'll take 10 seconds, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.